Hi, this is Russell Stannard from teachertrainingvideos.com. Today's video is a complete set of training videos in using Google Meet, and this is the free tool. So if you're a teacher or working in business and you want to learn to use Google Meet, which is an alternative to Microsoft Teams or to Skype or to Zoom, and it's free, then this is going to be an ideal set of videos for you, because I'm going to take you through absolutely everything step by step. Now, I have to say that Google Meet is very impressive. The recent updates they've done make it an excellent tool, and a couple of the really clever features, including the ability to change the background so you can have a different background. When you're presenting, you can even have subtitles on the screen. That's voice generated subtitles. It's really easy to, for example, present a PowerPoint slide or screen share. So it's brilliant for teachers because it's free. And it's also great for business because you can have up to 100 people in a meeting. So I'm going to take you through the technology, and I'm also even going to log in with someone so that you see a little bit what it's like from the teacher's point of view or from the organizer's point of view, and also from the participant's point of view. I've done a few videos in the past on Zoom that have been played 500,000 times. I'm really hoping that this video also is very popular. I'm going to do my best to really make this thorough. So for anyone wanting to learn a free webinar tool and then a real alternative to Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, then I think you're really going to find this video interesting. Hope you like it. Please like it, please share it, and please comment on it. Let's get going. So just to give you a really quick taster, I'm actually going to open up Google Meet, and if I'm logged into my Gmail account, all I need to do is click here, come down, and you'll actually see now that Google Meet is available here. You can click on it, and incredibly, you can start a meeting straight away. You can literally click on this button here. It's going to ask you, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say create or start an instant meeting. So I can start a meeting, and the first thing that it will do is it will open up the screen for me, and this is really useful. It will actually give me a link to this meeting, and I could quickly email this to anyone that I wanted to join me now. Now, one of the things you might notice is that on the screen it's actually producing the subtitles as I'm talking to you, and the reason for that is that I've actually got that activated. So I'm going to click over here just for now, and I'm going to come to captions and just turn that off, so we won't have captions while we're online. So I could literally now copy that link, open my email up, send it to anyone, tell them to click on it and join this meeting instantly, which is something that I do really a lot. Let's just have a look at some of the basic functionality at the bottom of the screen. Now, in a minute, I'm going to get someone to join me in this meeting, and I'm going to show you other ways that you can join. But just to show you a couple of other facilities, let's turn the video on. So we click here to turn the video on, and it will come on in a minute. And there you'll see me on the screen. Hi. And in fact, one of the things I can do is, and I've got it set to at the moment that the background is blurred, I can click over here and choose a different background. If I click here, I can even choose from many, many backgrounds that we've actually got on offer. So let's say, for example, I want that as my background, or perhaps I want that as my background, or perhaps I want that as my background. I've got all sorts of backgrounds that I can choose. Or if I'm not really bothered about the background, but I just want to blur what I've actually really got behind me, I can click here and then I can blur, and I can even really blur that quite a lot, which is often the setting that I use. But you've got lots of options here in terms of the setting that you might want to create. So that's a really nice feature. I can close that down again. Obviously, if I want to turn off the video, then I turn it off from here, and obviously I can turn off the audio. I can leave a meeting here. Now, of course, we can screen share as well. And just before we start screen sharing, I just want to point something out to you. If I click here and come to the layout, we've actually got a number of different layouts. We've got automatic, we've got tiled, and that can be really good if you've got a lot of people in the room and you want to be able to see everyone on the screen. You've got spotlight, which can be really good if you just want to focus on one person. That works really well in that kind of situation. or you've got sidebar when the sidebar is always available, and that can be really good if you're going to have a chat. So I'm going to click on sidebar because I'm going to put the sidebar one on. I'm going to close that down now with the sidebar set, and what I'm going to do now is open up chat. So the chat's here, and that immediately means that I've got a chat area, and of course if anyone was in the room now and I would be able to chat to them, I could just say hello, and I can click here, and then that would be shared with everyone who was in the session. Obviously, the participants would also be able to chat. So the chat window's there. You can close the chat window down at any time if you want to do that, and then open it again at any time if you want to open it up again. So really useful. Now, obviously, one of the most important buttons, and just for now, we're going to close the chat down, is the ability to screen share. That is the ability for you to share your screen so that other people can see what you're showing on your screen. This is perfect, for example, if you're working with, say, you want to do a PowerPoint presentation, you want to show your students or your participants a website. This is the way that you're going to do it, by using the Present Now button. And then you've got three options, and I'm just going to talk you through these options because it's really important that you understand them. So it's really important to understand that when you choose your entire screen, that is your screen sharing, everything that's currently on your screen, when you click on that button, the first thing that you must do, okay, is obviously choose, okay, I want to do entire screen, click on share, and remember that you must open your screen. It's absolutely vital that you do that, because at the moment what you're screen sharing is what people can see. So you're presenting to everyone. So the first thing you need to do then is obviously shift over to whatever it is that you want to show your students, because at the moment this, now that you're in sharing and you can see clearly that you're in share mode, they can see this screen. So as soon as you jump over to something else, let's say for example I open up this, now notice that I'm screen sharing this, okay? And if I, for example, I now clicked on, let's say I clicked on using Camtasia, so I clicked on it here at the bottom, now I'm screen sharing this. Now what you also need to remember is when you stop sharing, you need to click at the bottom and go back to your presentation, because remember, you're sharing something on your screen and therefore you're not actually got your screen or your Google Meet open in front of you. Let me just repeat that, because so many teachers have problems with this, that this happens when I'm using all sorts of technologies like Google, for example, like Microsoft Teams and Zoom. If you click on Present Now, you choose entire screen. That means that everyone can see exactly what is on the screen. When you choose this, the first thing you need to click on the window that you're going to be sharing, okay, or in this case it's literally your desktop, it's everything that's on your screen. Click on share. Now what that means is that they now, and you can see here at the bottom, they can now see your screen. Well, at the moment your screen is your presentation, and if I had my video on, it would be me, so that's no good, is it? But as soon as I click on something else, if I jump over to this tab, suddenly now this is what I'm screen sharing. And if I jumped to a different browser, suddenly now this is what I'm sharing. Now if I stop sharing, I need to go back. So I then need to click and go back to my meeting. I'm back in the meeting now. Okay, so just remember that. And a lot of teachers get confused when they're screen sharing, and they end up basically screen sharing themselves. Now I just want to explain to you a slight difference when we're working with a particular, when we're doing presenting. When you choose entire screen, which is the one that I generally choose, especially if I'm going to show a PowerPoint presentation or something, then it's a really good one to choose. But make sure that you haven't got anything open on your screen that you might accidentally show to your participants and you don't want them to see it, okay? Especially, for example, emails, etc. So make sure that you've only got open the windows that you are happy for your audience to see, because if you accidentally click on the wrong window, then obviously you're going to end up showing them your emails. Now a one way round that is to choose these other options, which is, for example, to choose a window. Now if you click on that, what you're doing is you're saying, right, I'm only going to be sharing my Google Meet window, or I'm only going to be sharing my Microsoft Edge window. So that is another option if you want. And another way even is to choose a specific tab. Now a tab will actually show you all the tabs that you've got open at the top of the screen, and sometimes that can be good. For example, if you want to just show a specific video, so if I only want to show this video, okay, which is open in this tab, I can click on that, and then that will actually mean that when I screen share, immediately I'm screen sharing that particular video on that tab. And then when I finish, I can click on stop screen share, and then or remember, of course, to come back then to your to your Google Meet. So I generally use entire window, especially if I'm going to screen share a PowerPoint slide. And let's just quickly look at that. So let's quickly go through doing a PowerPoint presentation. So I've got my presentation here. There's a couple of things that you've got to keep in mind. So I'm going to obviously got my presentation open now. I'm going to click at the bottom here and go back to my presentation. And then I'm going to click on present now. And the most obvious thing you can do, and you could do it in any of the three ways, but the most obvious way would be to choose your entire screen. And then simply, obviously, click on entire screen, click on share, and then open up your PowerPoint slide. And then once you've got it open, click on slideshow, and that will then turn it into a slideshow. Now when you've finished, there's a couple of things you're going to need to do. First of all, make sure you click onto the PowerPoint slide itself and click on escape, because you want to come out of the PowerPoint show. Then stop sharing, and then remember, of course, to click at the bottom here and come back to your presentation. Make sure that you've got the right tab open at the top so that you're in your presentation. Okay, so let me just do that again. Click on present now, click on entire screen, jump over once you've clicked to activate it, jump over to your PowerPoint slide. Then you can turn on the PowerPoint presentation. Obviously you can move through your presentation. Okay, once you've finished, the best thing to do is, well, you can do it either way. You can click on stop share. Once you click on stop share, click on escape so that you come out of the PowerPoint slideshow. Then at the bottom of the screen, click and find your way back to your meeting. And that's the way that you use PowerPoint. Okay, so we've gone through some of the basic features. We're going to carry on now. I'm going to show you an alternative way of inviting people to a meeting, and that's through your Google Calendar. And then we're actually going to get someone to join me in a meeting and just go through a few more of the key settings. There are a couple more settings that are really worth looking at, and it will just give you a bit more of an experience of understanding how it all works. And we'll also have a look at some of the things from the participants' point of view, so that you actually see what it's like, not only from the teacher's point of view, which is what you're seeing with me at the moment, but also from the participants' point of view. So let's carry on. Just really quickly before we get back to the video, don't forget to come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos. You can see all the technologies highlighted there at the top, and you can scroll down as well and see some of the latest and most popular videos. If you want to follow my work, the best thing to do is to sign up to the newsletter. That way you'll get updated with all the latest videos, the online courses, the webinars and the blogs. And at the moment, if you sign up, there's a special 6-part video series about using technology in teaching and learning. Right, let's get back to the video. Okay, let's look at an alternative way of setting up a meeting. I'm on my Google Calendar. I'm going to set up a meeting up today, a little bit later in the day. So I'm going to double click on the screen, and I'm simply going to write in the meeting with Ivona. And then all I need to do is click here, because I want this to be a Google meeting rather than just a reminder to myself. So I click on there. That generates immediately a link. And in fact, notice it says up to 100 people can join that meeting. Now I can choose the specific time if I need to. So I can click on find time, and I'm going to choose this one to be in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I'm just going to click there. and then that is now the time of the meeting. I'm going to click back to the details because there's one other thing I need to do, and that's invite people. Now if I click here, I can literally just write in, and it's obviously connected to your Gmail contacts list. I can find the person I want to invite or the people I want to invite, and then when I click on save, notice what happens. So if I click now on save, I've got a meeting set up. It offers me the option to send an invitation via Gmail to that particular person, and then that person can literally come on at the specific time and click from the email straight into the meeting. And in fact, I think they also will be able to do it from their Google Calendar, but they can certainly do it from their email account. They will receive an email that will allow them to click and join the meeting. Remember, and I'm just going to click on don't send, that when you generate, and let me just come back to that meeting, when you generate a Google meeting, it gives you a link. So you've even got the option as well of just copying that link and emailing it yourself. But obviously this ability to add people here and email them is a really good idea. And it's something that I've used a few times recently as I've kind of got to work more and more with Google. Now the other thing is more actions. One of the things you can do from here is delete that. Okay, so I'm going to delete it because I'm not going to set up an invitation this afternoon. Okay, so I'm just going to click on don't send, and then the meeting's been cancelled. Okay, so you can see now that there's two of us on the screen, and I'm going to show you in a minute the setting that I'm using here so that you can see both yourself and the other participants on the screen, and it's a really important setting. Otherwise, what you will normally see is the person that you are talking to rather than see both of you on the screen. Remember, you have options in terms of the way that you set up the screen, and I'm going to show you that now. So when you're in a meeting, you need to click here, come up to the layout, and the layout that you're going to look for is going to be tiled, and choose that as your layout. Okay, and then what's going to happen is when other people join your room, you'll be able to click up here and you'll see that you'll have the option to turn on tiled, and that will allow anyone that's in your room who's logged into your meeting will suddenly appear on the screen. Now, so you can see me do this now. I'm going to click on the screen, bang, there it is, two of us on the screen together. Now what you're going to see now is that I'm going to turn on the ability to add captions, and I'm also instructed the person in the meeting with me to turn their ability to add captions on. And look what happens. Both the captions from the people speaking appear on the screen, so I can see my captions and I can also see Ivona's captions at the same time, so you can see really how good that is. I just want to go through a few final things, and if you're invited to a meeting and you click on a link, this is what you normally see, and it's from here that you can turn on your video camera and turn on your audio. Once you're ready, okay, you can click on join now, and that immediately allows you to come into the meeting. So we're just going to come in very quickly. So I'm now in that meeting. Remember, if you're in a meeting and you'll host the meeting, there's various ways that you can invite other people. You can click up here and literally just add people's email addresses. It will connect to your Gmail account, and then you can invite people. So that's really one way. You can just grab the link, so you can copy the link, and in fact you can click it here, and then you could open up your emails and send an invite. That will also work. We've looked at these buttons here at the bottom. That's how you turn the video on and off. That's how you turn the audio on and off. That's how you leave or join a meeting. So if you want to leave a meeting, you click here. We've gone through in detail present now. Let's just have a look here if there's anything else that we really want to focus on. Now there's basically two important things that we've not covered. First of all, your settings are here. So if you've got any problems connecting to your audio or hearing and you want to change your default system, that's where you do that. The same for video as well. If you've not got your camera connected, it might be because you've got to choose the camera, etc. Okay, and then there's one final thing. Now I'm going to do a separate video on this because it's a little bit more complicated than it seems. Let me explain. If we have Gmail, we have access to what we call Jamboard, and Jamboard is like an interactive whiteboard software, and I can actually now open a Jamboard, and I can click and open the Jamboard that I've already got created on my drive, or I can create a new one. When you create a Jamboard, and you'll see that it will come up onto the screen, you have to remember that that Jamboard is not suddenly accessible by everybody that's in your session at the moment, because you would need to share that Jamboard to allow them to interact on it. And secondly, you would need to screen share it. So you would need, in fact, to come back to your presentation, and then you would need to go to present now, choose entire screen, and then what you would do is jump from here, jump to your Jamboard, and now the Jamboard would be available to everyone, not to write on, but simply to see what you're doing. So then you can actually begin now to work on your Jamboard. So remember that it doesn't immediately mean that everybody that's in your current Google meeting can access the Jamboard. That will happen if you then share it with the right people, and as I said, I will be doing a video on that in the future. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com, as I mentioned before. Sign up to the newsletter, get updated with all the latest videos, the blog posts, the webinars and the online courses. Of course, you can also follow me on my YouTube channel. I think we're up to nearly 60,000 people now. And if you do want me to do some training with your organization, then you can contact me from my website. Very popular at the moment are things like working with Zoom and working with Google Meets, working with Google generally, working with things like Kahoot and Wordwall, etc. Thank you very much.